Thank you for joining me with the Prairie Oaks Pulpit Bible Study. And we're in the book of Galatians, and we're going to look in chapter 5, verses 13, 14, and 15. Because we've been working our way through Galatians, and we see where the Apostle Paul has been contending for the gospel against false teachers who want to bring the people into bondage to the old covenant laws with all of its regulations and restrictions and highlighted by physical circumcision for the men. And we've seen where Paul has taken his discussion from several different angles to explain how the law is perfect. We're not. It just reveals that we're sinners. And so the law says that sinners deserve to be under the curse. We don't want to be under the law because we would be cursed. And we already are. We need rescued from the curse. Jesus did that and fulfilled the law for us, including taking the curse for us. And see later on in chapter 4 where the law is a schoolmaster, and it is there to crack the whip, keep us between the ditches until we're mature enough to handle grace. That we would be mature enough to listen to God in His Spirit rather than have these rules to follow. And so each of these things, because we've been adopted not as little kids, but transitioning from little kids to mature adults adopted into the family, where we receive an inheritance. And so once again, he's illustrating, you don't want to be under the law because it's for little kids. If you want to receive the inheritance, you need to be receiving Christ. He is our means of adoption. And so as he's brought it to a crescendo, he gets to a point now where he probably feels like I've convinced you now. This is what the gospel is. The good news is that you don't need to be under the old covenant laws, especially as Gentiles. Now he wants to make sure they don't go too far the other direction. And so listen to what he says here, verses 13, 14, and 15 of Galatians chapter 5. For you, brethren, have been called to liberty. Only do not use liberty as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, beware lest you be consumed by one another. Now, Paul has kind of said this in a different way remember in Galatians 2:20, you may want to flip back there, but he said, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. And so he acknowledges that the old way of living is no more. It's been crucified with Christ. And so even though he's in the flesh, he doesn't live by the flesh. He lives by faith in the Son of God. He lives by love because Christ loved him. And so he's kind of coming back to that point. And so he says, I've now set you free. You've been set free in Christ. Just don't use it as an opportunity for the flesh. We live in the flesh, as in that we are bodily humans. But this body bent towards sin, there's a sin nature in this. Don't live for it. Because we get to choose now. We've been set free. Before Christ, we were in the flesh without the Spirit. And even if we were, quote, good moral people, we were doing it in the flesh, fueling pride, arrogance. It would be self-righteousness that in God's eyes is still not what he's looking for, because he's looking for us to rely on him. And our blind spots of our own sin, without the Spirit to give us insight into where those are, they're still repulsive to God. So we may look good and moral on the outside, but like the Pharisees in Jesus' day, it wasn't good enough. Our righteousness needs to exceed theirs, meaning we need the perfect righteousness of Christ. So while we've been set free, we've been given liberty. Don't use that liberty as an opportunity, a starting point for the flesh. Don't give it a foothold in your life, to use a military term. But rather, you've been set free. You've been given liberty from all the rules of the old covenant law in order that you can more effectively love and serve one another, to put the needs of others above your own. And he's going to unpack that more, and we'll go with him as we finish chapter 5 in the coming weeks. Because he says, here's what the works of the flesh are. And a lot of them, but not all of the ones that he lists, are things that divide us as human beings. Whereas the things that are the fruit of the Spirit, the natural result of living and walking in the Spirit, are things that help us as humans set aside our selfishness and serve one another, to get along better with one another. And there's nothing against the law in that. And so he says here, we're to love and serve one another. And he says, ironically, that's what the law was all about anyways. The law, the greatest commandments, Jesus said, is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. And so Paul is reminding here the Galatians, echoing Jesus, the law is fulfilled in love your neighbor as yourself. That you put them as one of your priorities. And he warns them. But if you're living according to the flesh, that's where the divisions, that's where the hatreds, that's where the jealousies, that's where the problems socially come, is they come from walking in the flesh, and you'll bite and devour and be consumed by one another. You'll eat each other up. And we see it in the world around us. There's people who just seem to thrive on the drama, and I don't understand it. I don't like drama. I like to keep it simple. Keep it warm and fuzzy. That's not of me. That's of God working in me, I'm pretty sure. But that we serve one another, that we look out for one another, because that's us loving our neighbor as much as we love ourselves. We take care of ourselves. We may do destructive things to ourselves, but when push comes to shove, we're always wanting to look out for number one. But in Christ, we have a new number one, don't we? We have him as number one. And then others are second, and myself last. Looking out for one another. So you've been set free in Christ and set free from those laws. He's fulfilled them for us. Whether it's to love the Lord your God with all your heart, to have one God, God first, he's fulfilled that for us. To not make graven images, he's fulfilled that for us. To not take the Lord's name in vain, to live in a life worthy of the name, He did that for us. To be our Sabbath rest, he did that for us. Murder, hate, adultery, lust, lying, stealing, covetousness. He didn't do any of those things in order that he would fulfill the law perfectly. So now we've been set free. But in our serving him, we've now been set free to serve him better because we've been given his Spirit to accomplish that. And we're going to unpack that some more next time. So it's just a short video. This Sunday is a short Sunday for us because we're going to be spending some extra time singing. And so if you want to hear some of our singing, I'll put a link for some of the music that's on our channel. Otherwise, God bless, God keep you. And let's ponder on this. How can we better use our liberty through love to serve one another? God bless.